What if I told you the very buildings once marked by one of Christianity's biggest modern scandals are now being redeemed by another church? A Kansas City pastor says God gave him a vision to reclaim the enemy's stolen ground. But here's the twist. That ground happens to belong to IHOP KC, the same ministry rocked by SA allegations, cover-ups, and near financial ruin. And now, one local congregation believes God is calling them to resurrect what fell. But is this truly a redemptive miracle, or just a risky move wrapped in spiritual language? Welcome to Anointed TV, where we uncover the stories shaking the modern church. If you're watching this, you already know. Stick around, because what's happening in Kansas City might just become a blueprint for what revival, or repentance, really looks like. For over 2 decades, the International House of Prayer Kansas City, known as IHOP KC, was a global spiritual phenomenon. Its mission? 24-hour worship, non-stop prayer, and radical devotion to Jesus. But in October 2023, that dream collapsed. Multiple women, some of them minors at the time, came forward accusing founder Mike Bickle of SA and manipulation. A third-party investigation later confirmed 17 victims and that senior leaders allegedly shielded perpetrators for years. What followed was chaos. Donors fled, staff were cut, and at one point, IHOP KC was bleeding $500,000 a month. Entire ministries were shut down, including Forerunner Church, once its Sunday heartbeat. From 24-hour prayer to near 24-hour crisis. And as the buildings emptied, so did the hope of a movement once believed to usher in the next great revival. But that's where another voice, a new pastor, stepped into the silence. Just a few miles east of the fallen IHOP KC campus stands the City KC, a vibrant multi-ethnic church led by Pastor Armour AD3 Stevenson III. A young, passionate voice in Kansas City's faith scene, Stevenson has built his church around unity, worship, and practical discipleship. But recently, he made headlines, not for controversy, but for a bold, redemptive vision. In a viral fundraising video, Pastor AD3 announced, "Those properties, the former Forerunner Church and IHOP KC's Children's Equipping Center, both abandoned in the fallout of scandal." Stevenson called it a redemptive moment. The idea, to reclaim what the enemy tried to destroy and restore those spaces for God's glory once again.
Something historic is happening in Kansas City. God is expanding what began as a dream, a church called to see lives changed by the gospel and through the lives of changed people, into a movement that's transforming a city and awakening a generation. Over the past several years, our church has grown beyond what anyone could have imagined. Week after week, people are encountering Jesus. Families are being restored and leaders are being raised up. But that kind of growth comes with a new set of challenges. The place that has served us so well has now been outgrown 3 times over. Every weekend, our team stretch themselves to create space for everyone to encounter God. Our City Kids team sets up and tears down classrooms week after week. Parking lots overflow. Traffic spills into the neighborhood. We've received calls from neighbors and from the city about the congestion and limitations. They're good problems, but they're still problems. And they're a sign that it's time to step through the next open door. That door, hear me, is now in front of us. 2 incredible properties in Grandview, Missouri, sitting on more than 38 acres of land, has become available. Spaces that could become the new home and hub of everything God is building through the city and our aroma movement. The first is a 52,000 square foot facility on over 6 acres of land. It includes a 1,400 seat sanctuary, offices, classrooms, and a whole bunch of parking. It's been beautifully maintained, new HVAC, new roof, new LED wall, completely move-in ready, and y'all, it even has a basketball court. And so what I'm most excited about, though, is that this facility gives us what we've been praying for, a permanent home where our City Kids team no longer has to spend hours setting up and tearing down. It's a place with classrooms, play areas, secure, fully equipped spaces designed for discipleship and family ministry from the moment people walk through the door. And just a few blocks away is the second campus. Yes, over 30 acres of land with a full commercial kitchen, shower facilities, classrooms, offices, and a large auditorium. This site will become the home for local outreach, our School of Ministry and Leadership Training, the base for the City U and the Aroma Network, where future pastors, leaders, and world changers can be equipped and sent into the world. To us, these aren't just buildings, man. These are assignments for us. They are sacred ground for the next season of revival, discipleship, and leadership development in Kansas City and even beyond. And this is a redemptive moment, because the very spaces the enemy once tried to destroy, God is now positioning his people to redeem, to bring purpose and power back into the places that were always meant for his glory. This opportunity is going to require faith. It's going to require sacrifice, and it's going to require all of us, all of you. Right now, we're entering into conversations about what it will take to secure these properties and walk through this open door. And we're believing to raise an initial $500,000 by December.
At first, Pastor Stevenson asked for $500,000, enough to secure both properties. But just days later, he returned with a stunning update. The total amount? $2 million by December 15th.
All right, let me interrupt this with a quick update. When we filmed this the first time, I said we were believing God for $500,000, but that was before my meeting with the IHOP KC team. Well, after sitting down with their team, their CFO, here is an update. The opportunity has not changed. It is still 2 campuses, almost 40 acres of land, all the things we need. But what has changed is what it is going to take to secure everything that we need to secure. We just need a little bit more cash where? On the table. Okay, actually a lot more. Not a little bit, but a lot more. The new amount we need is, here we go, $2 million. Now, listen to me before you panic. I want you to hear me out. This ain't no setback, baby. This is a time for our faith to be stretched, that God did not and has not changed his plan, that God is just giving us a bigger stage to watch him move. What are you talking about, Pastor A3? Well, I'm still talking about the same dream. I'm still talking about the same up to 40 acres of land. I'm still talking about the fully equipped facilities. I'm still talking about turnkey, walk in, ready to have church. Our kids finally have enough space for them to grow. I'm still talking about a base for ministry training and revival in Kansas City. And I know 2 million sounds wild. It may sound wild, but honestly, we've seen God do the impossible before, and we are about to see him do it again. So this is our moment to rise up in faith, to give boldly, to trust that what's in front of us is even greater than what is behind us. So yeah, you might be sitting there still talking about, well, dang, that's a lot of money. Where we gonna get that from? The number may went up, but guess what else done went up? My faith done went up. Your faith done went up. So let's go get it, church. Let's take the land. Let's build what God is calling us to build. And let's do it. How? Together. All right, now back to the video.
It's unclear if that amount is a full purchase or a down payment. But what is clear is this. Stevenson believes God is in this moment, calling believers to literally buy back what sin had corrupted. 52,000 square feet, a 1,400-seat sanctuary, another 30-acre lot with classrooms, offices, and a full commercial kitchen. Valued together at around $2.3 million, according to county records. But the pastor insists, this isn't just about buying land. It's about taking ground. Stevenson's message hit a nerve, especially among believers who once prayed inside those very walls during IHOP KC's glory days. He declared, to his congregation, that wasn't just poetic, it was prophetic. For years, many have wondered whether the dark cloud over IHOP KC could ever lift. Now, this new church says yes, by literally transforming shame into sanctuary. It's a bold claim. That revival can be reborn in the ashes of abuse. But some critics are asking tough questions, and not everyone's convinced this is the miracle it appears to be. According to the Roy's report, no public sale listings for these properties currently exist. IHOP KC leaders, including CFO Eric Oprecht and Executive Director Joseph Taylor, have not commented. Former staffer Susan Tyrrell, who's tracked IHOP KC's real estate dealings, raised concerns. They're a tax-exempt organization because they don't even have to file a 990 as a church. I have lots of concerns, absolutely. Translation? There's fear that the property sales could happen behind closed doors, without the transparency victims and donors have long demanded. And that raises an uncomfortable question. Can something truly be redeemed if the process itself remains in the dark? Despite the doubts, Pastor 83's message is resonating with many. To them, this is not just about real estate, or it's a spiritual exchange. The church's campaign, called Aroma, is based on 2 Corinthians 2:15. For we are to God the pleasing aroma of Christ. Through the Aroma campaign, the City KC envisions a new campus where generations encounter Jesus, discover purpose, and spread his fragrance across Kansas City and beyond. In Stevenson's words, "We're not just raising money, we're raising capacity for Jesus to change everything, everywhere." What once carried the stench of sin and secrecy could soon carry the aroma of revival. This isn't just about two churches. It's a reflection of something deeper happening in America's Christian landscape. The old guard is collapsing, and a new generation of pastors is rising, armed with authenticity, transparency, and courage to confront the sins of the past. But make no mistake, this kind of redemption story carries both power and peril. Raising $2 million in under 2 months is no small feat. And spiritually, reclaiming ground once tainted by AB use demands more than money. It demands repentance, accountability, and healing. The question remains, can this new church truly separate itself from the stain of IHOP KC's legacy? Or will the ghosts of the past continue to haunt the foundations, no matter who owns the deed? Only time and transparency will tell. At the heart of this story isn't real estate, it's redemption. A young pastor believes God is calling his people to literally rebuild what sin destroyed. And whether you agree with his approach or not, you can't deny the symbolism that out of corruption, faith is daring to plant new roots. If this story moved you, pray for wisdom, for revival, and for justice to be done in Kansas City. Because this isn't just about land, it's about a legacy, a test of whether God's people still believe that grace can reclaim even the darkest ground.